All right, we're back for the discussion of The Martian. If you watched our review, we really enjoyed it. What else to say about it as far as the spoiler side goes? I mean, it's one problem after another, but it doesn't feel like it doesn't beat you down with it. A lot of that is that Matt Damon's really hilarious, and they use his charisma to...
There's like just the right amount of humor, isn't there? I didn't expect there to be so many like just kind of pithy moments and stuff, but
it's also interesting. Like, I wonder how much, like, if you broke it down, how much each character really has in the movie, because I bet Matt Damon has less than half of the running time of the movie. I bet that they've got it spread out really well.
Yeah, this is not like a Castaway.
Or a Gravity.
Right.
It feels like we spend a scene or two with Matt Damon solving some problem, and then we go to Earth for a while, and then we go to the other, the Hermes craft that he was supposed to be on. We do all of that stuff, and because the pacing is so good and because we're never like just checking in on people, it's always moving the plot forward. Every scene moves the plot forward. We're not seeing one person type something and another person like read it on the other end. They're intercutting all of that stuff even really well.
It's really efficient.
So yeah, it's super efficient, and so it made me wonder, like, how many days did Mackenzie Davis spend on this movie? Like, everybody that's in the movie, it feels like, spent a fairly short amount of time considering how frequently we see them. Lots of short scenes that just speed the plot along.
Yeah.
Just keep it moving forward. Jeff Daniels is another example. Like, he seems like he's in more of the movie than he probably is.
Yeah. And one of my little nitpicky things is that sometimes certain characters, it didn't feel like... I mean, there's a lot of time passed in this movie, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like...
You mean like the running time?
No, I mean the people.
Oh.
Like Jeff Daniels being one of the characters where the next time I saw him on screen, it kind of seemed like it had been a week when really it had been like, months and months. So it didn't I don't know if that was a visual thing or just the way it came across. It didn't feel like... we were just cutting to the next scene, and it was like, but months have passed, and I wanted to... It didn't feel that. But it's a real nitpicky thing, but I think maybe... I don't know how you could improve that, but...
Yeah, I just think overall...
But that might be that that was maybe shot pretty tightly.
I also think it's like... There's most of the time, the majority of the time, it's not important how long it's been. Like, it's only important how long it's been to... Matt Damon,
the principal, yeah.
That's really it, and as long as he's communicating what's different, like, it was interesting.
Yeah, with the big beard and everything.
Well, and I was wondering about that because he didn't have it for the longest time. But then I got to thinking about it, and it was like, no, it wasn't until he got in the rover and did his 50-day trek that the beard came into play.
Maybe left the razor back.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't. And then they show him, getting onto the new station, and there's an electric razor waiting for him. So yeah, I thought the pacing above everything, I just really blew me away.
Yeah, and it was a long movie too, right?
Yeah, it's over 2 hours.
Yeah,
it didn't feel it.
No, not at all.
I just say that because there was a lot in it.
Yeah, it felt like, I would say 110 minutes or so. And that's really only because, so that's not much less, but it felt like it was moving along really well. And they didn't drag out the last pieces of it. They didn't have another segment where they're all together and something goes wrong on the ship.
Yeah.
It's exactly the right things are in the movie and exactly the right things are not in the movie.
Yeah.
This movie did a very important thing that movies have been hard-pressed to do lately, is when the rescue happened, I honestly wanted to stand up and pump my fist. I was so emotionally involved. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that in the time that he is on camera, Matt Damon is so charismatic. You care about him almost instantly.
Mm-hmm.
And you build this rapport with him because you're getting his inner thoughts and everything. And when it finally goes down, you're terrified for him, and you just have this wave of emotions, and the end hits you with utter relief.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and between him and Jessica Chastain, there's going to be an awesome, like, interstellar mashup with this.
I know.
No
Matt
doubt.
Damon is, like, the ultimate jerk and the ultimate hero. Like, which version of him do you get?
Yeah, I forgot she was in this. So when I saw her, I was like, whoa, it's totally got the interstellar vibe, you know? But
They should have, like, McConaughey show up as the president or something stupid
Right.
like that.
How is it that Matt Damon is always in need of rescuing? I just don't get it.
Yeah. No, Private
But see,
Ryan.
there was just so much about this movie that was interesting. Like, it seemed to me like there weren't many set pieces. There was NASA, and then there was Mars.
Right.
but there was
and
a
the
lot of Mars,
spaceship.
though.
Well, I'm sure a lot of that was just like open desert with CGI over it.
Yeah. No, I mean in terms of what you're seeing on screen.
It's
A
also
lot of
one of
it was
those
devoted
things
to-
that, like, you could break this down into, like, a year of science class in school. You know what I mean? Like, this is something where they could, like, cut it scene by scene and turn it into the science behind
Well, see, there's another
all the
thing I
things that they're
liked.
doing in it.
Like it's very technical stuff how you solve those problems. But this was a movie made for a mainstream audience. I liked the balance. It wasn't dumb.
Yeah.
But it also wasn't like too nerdy to where it would turn off the
It
average
wasn't-
viewer. It was a great balance, I thought.
It wasn't dumb, but it had lots of things like, I'm going to science the shit out of this.
Right, yeah.
Which is a charismatic line, but it's also like a cheat of, I'm not going to tell you how I solve this problem.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just gonna happen.
I'm just going to do science
Yeah.
stuff and math.
But they did explain enough things, so it's not dumb.
Right.
You know, it's-
I thought the thing with the camera and the hexadecimal, like, ASCII code thing, I thought that was really smart and a cool thing to actually include in the movie because,
I thought it was cool that they added Pathfinder at all, because I was like,
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
when they mentioned it, I'm like, oh yeah, Pathfinder. I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that.
Nice.
oh, that was cool, but I'm trying to think, like, as far as, like, the thing that was the most technical that they went into was, like, hexadecimal ASCII codes so that they could use Pathfinder more efficiently as a communication device. And then they reprogrammed the rover so that they could just type back and forth. And
Yeah.
that kind of glossed over it a little bit. But while they're explaining all of that and showing the codes and talking about it and everything, it's like, as someone who actually understands ASCII codes, I was like, hey, there's something technical that I can actually
Yeah.
like, identify with.
One of my favorite things was they clearly didn't know enough about it to explain it. So whenever they introduced Donald Glover's character, they were like, what does he do? Astrodynamics.
Right. Well, and he's an astrodynamics guy who knows how to walk into a boardroom and make a presentation with a stapler that everyone will understand.
Which, by the way, was the same exact presentation how they explained the mission in Armageddon. Except they actually had props in that one outside of a stapler and a pen.
Fair enough.
Great movie.
Better than
Gosh.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Like, this was probably my favorite space movie since Apollo 13.
You know, it felt like that at times because of the kind of desperate problem solving that needs to happen to make, bring them home. It just kind of had a bit of that vibe at times.
Yeah. This one is definitely an emotional movie. It's like you said, it's close to Gravity, but I felt more connected with Matt Damon than Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, it's like Gravity in that, you've got a guy, or you have a character that's isolated for a long period, but it's unlike Gravity in that it's not the whole movie. Like it,
And it's a completely different time frame. Gravity was all like, what, in a couple of days or something?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I forget how long it really, like, how long in...
Sandra Bullock in the series of unfortunate events.
Yeah. Oh, somebody did a supercut of just, like, all of her, like, gasps and moans in that movie. Like,
Oh,
when
really?
she hit
I
something.
haven't seen that.
Yeah. Everything is Terrible did it. It's like the 2-minute version of Gravity, and, like, it's just that and her, like, barking at that dog over the radio. So... All right. Well, now we're talking about Gravity, so we'll wrap this up. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.